Hi everybody, it's been a while since you've seen me. Well, here I'm back again. I'm planning on making videos on a regular basis again. We're going to get lots of them done here in a very short period of time, but today we're just going to be doing one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make some shrimp Alfredo tonight for dinner. So nice garlicky, creamy shrimp, and we're going to use, instead of pasta, we're going to use the Shirataki noodles. Now, I really like these things. They're made out of mushrooms. They're a really good product, and they are very low carb. So we're talking there's less than 4 grams of carbs in here. Let's say 15 calories, 4 grams of carbs per serving, and this is a 2-serving package. So in one package, and the package is how many? 8 ounces. 8 ounces. But there's a lot of water in here too, so you drain off the water and the fluid first. So, and then we're also going to take some shrimp. So we've got shrimp. We're going to, these are already been deveined and they've been headed and stuff. So one thing I got to do is I got to peel the bodies off the legs and separate them from the tails. Now you can leave the tails on if you like for that little pretty look, for the presentation portion of it. But myself personally, I prefer to take them off. I don't really like them getting, because sometimes they'll break off and get in little pieces with the noodles, and don't really care for that part. So I go ahead and peel them all off before we start cooking them. So we're going to be back in just a moment. When I get back, we're going to start cooking the shrimp, getting the noodles warmed and heated up, and we'll start making our sauce after that's all done. So be right back. Okay, we're going to come back and just show you real quick. But I want to show you some of these shrimp and how they come. So this is how they look when they come out of the bag. And I put them into a colander and I rinsed them with cool water. So nice cold water, rinsed them off. But see, you got the legs and so forth. You grab them like so, pull it back until you get to the tail, pinch at the bottom of the tail section, and there you go. You got the one shrimp. And I'm putting them into a little bowl here, and I'm going to get them all done. So when I get done with that, I'll be back. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to turn this down towards my board like I normally do. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a rough cut on our parsley. Now I got curly parsley. I just got it nice and fresh today from the grocery store. And we're going to do a nice rough chop on this. Now, the recipe calls for a half cup. So that's about a half cup right there of our parsley. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rest of it into a baggie. And I'll probably use that up for breakfast tomorrow, or at least some of that. So I try not to be real wasteful with things. I try to use up as much as I can. So we got a nice rough chop on the parsley. So our parsley's all nice and roughly chopped, all sitting nice. Okay, we've got our shrimp, and we've got this all peeled. They're all been rinsed and ready to go. We've got our olive oil out. We've got our heavy whipping cream. We've got our chicken stock that we're going to be using, our garlic, our Parmesan cheese, and then our kosher salt, and our fresh cracked pepper that we're going to be using. Oh, and also butter. We're going to be using 2 tablespoons of butter. Now keep in mind that when I start to put this together, it's going to go together fairly quick, and we'll just kind of put it all together and have it all ready to go, and then we'll have our noodles ready. So with that, I'll be right back with you, and we'll start the cooking process. Okay, folks, we're back, and we're going to start putting everything together. So we're going to put in 1 tablespoon of EVO, extra virgin olive oil. Now you can use regular olive oil also. I just happen to be using extra virgin because that's what I had in my bottle at the time. I do use it more frequently. You do have to be fairly careful on the brands you buy to make sure that you're actually getting what you're paying for. There's been a lot of controversy about that, and a lot of things have been said in recent years and recent months especially about things being substituted and us buying things. For example, olive oil is one of them, wine's another, fish are mislabeled quite frequently, especially in restaurants and in grocery stores also. So sometimes we're paying for stuff that we really aren't actually getting what we're paying for. So you gotta kind of, pay attention. But anyway, we're using extra virgin olive oil this particular time. And we've got our pan going, and we've got our heat coming up. And once we get our heat up, we're gonna put our shrimp in. Now when we put our shrimp in, all we're doing is bringing them up to be nice and pink. When they get nice and pink, I'm going to transfer them to another bowl, and we're going to set them off to the side, and we're going to start making our sauce. So from there, we'll continue on. Okay, we're back, and we're going to start doing our shrimp. So we're just going to slide them all into the pan, and we're using a medium-sized skillet for this. And we're going to let those cook. So as they're cooking along, they'll start turning pink. When they start turning pink, we're going to remove them and transfer them over to the bowl. Hi, we're back, and I just wanted to give you a quick update. I put the lid on top of my skillet, and you can see everything's starting to come up really nice and pink. They're not quite done yet. Once they get finished, I will be transferring them over, and we'll be moving on. Okay, you can see that they're done. Then we don't want to get them over pink, so we're going to transfer those to our bowl. And oh, these are just going to be so delicious. I wish you could smell all this. Wait till we start adding in the rest of our goodies, because next we're going to be adding in 2 tablespoons of butter, and then we're going to also add in 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Now you can go ahead and buy the garlic at the store or grow it yourself and chop it all up and mince it yourself. It's a time saver for me. I just buy a jar of the minced garlic. I always keep one in my refrigerator at all times. It's just like a little quick go-to to do. So there we go. We got our shrimp. We're going to set those off to the side. Like I said, we're going to take our 2 tablespoons of butter. So we've got 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to melt that down. Now once that gets melted down, we're then going to add our garlic and get that going. Oh, this is just going to be so wonderful. It'll be a really good meal. Now keep in mind that this kind of meal works for both keto, paleo, and also for low carb diets like the Atkins, if you're following that. Now a lot of people are going to say, well, dairy products are not allowed in paleo. Well, you're right in a strict paleo, but I kind of modify my paleo that I do include some dairy, very limited, but I do. I use butter. I use heavy cream, not half and half, not milk or anything like that contains a lot of carbs. Heavy cream has almost 0 carbs in it. Has some, but very little. And also use cheese. And it just adds a lot of little flavor, and you're right, but I have a feeling that caveman probably did have some kind of cheese, because they found it in camel bags and all sorts of stuff, so I believe that it was around in Neolithic times. So, with that, we're going to put in our garlic. And we got our 2 tablespoons of garlic in there. Oh, this smells just wonderful. Now, after we get our garlic in here and we get it going, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding in our chicken stock. We've got a half a cup of chicken stock that we're going to add into here. Okay, and you can see our chicken stock is deglazing our pan, and our garlic is coming up, and we've got our butter in there. Oh, this is smelling just wonderful. Turn our heat up on there just a little bit. Now, something we're going to add in here is some fresh cracked pepper and some kosher salt, and about a pinch of kosher salt for me, my taste. And I did like 3 twists off of a grinder for fresh cracked pepper. So we've got our pan going here. It's deglazing quite nicely. What we're going to be doing is adding in our heavy cream here in just a moment. Then we're going to reduce it down, and then we're going to add in our Parmesan cheese to help thicken it and add that flavor, that nice nuttiness flavor to it. And then finally we're going to add in our shrimp, and then finally we'll be putting in our parsley and mixing that in, and then reserving half of that to sprinkle on top of our dish for garnish. Our pan's coming along nicely. So we're going to do a 1 3/4 cups. One of these containers is 2 cups, So we're gonna go glug, 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 and glug, glug, glug. And I've got some reserved there inside. About a quarter cup is still inside there. Oh, this is smelling so wonderful, folks. I wish you could be here to smell this. The smells are just wonderful. And I hope that fan is not too noisy in the background there. Now, we're not trying to bring this to a boil. We're just going to simmer this off and start reducing it down. And you can see that steam coming off the top of that. So once that simmers down a bit more, we'll be back. Okay, we've just added in our cheese. So we've got our cheese going inside here. And we're starting to bring it to a nice little simmer. Gotta turn that heat down a little bit. It's a little bit too high. So I'm going to turn that down. I'm using an electric stovetop, ceramic stovetop. So with this particular stove, I'm going to run it at about 2. I had it at about 3, so you can see it's kind of boiling more than we really want. That's a real high saute. So we're going to lift this pan up off the surface for a second, let some of the heat dissipate. And we're just going to kind of reduce this down. Now this will cook down and reduce some more. And once it gets to that point, just a little bit more than that, I'll be back and we'll add the shrimp. Okay, we're back, and we've got the sauce reduced down to about half of where it was. So like I said, we're going to take about half of our parsley. We'll reserve the rest of it for our garnish. We're going to add that in. Oh, this is smelling just so wonderful. Then we're going to take our shrimp, and we're going to add that in there, and we're going to fold it all in. We're going to let this simmer for just a little bit, just a little while, just to let some of those flavors soak into the shrimp and get them all nice and flavorful. So there we are. This is what we have for the moment. Once we get the noodles done, I'll come back and I'll plate it, and you'll be able to see the final product. Okay, we're back again, folks, and we've got the noodles here, and I want to show you what they look like. I brought them up out of the microwave. I just microwaved these, and then I'm just going to add them to my plate. Woohoo! And I also did add a little bit of olive oil when I did that. So, and adding those with that, I did add olive oil onto there. So then we're going to plate it. Oh, the smell is just wonderful. You could only just smell this. This is just like, woo! Just so good smelling. Okay, and a little bit of our parsley for garnish. And there we go. So, bon appetit.